Be honest. You didn't expect your therapist to look like this. If you've ever been on my social media or been to an event where I've lectured or been to anywhere that I've been, you've probably noticed that I've been wearing a sweatsuit for years now. And the reason of this, like the origin of this, is I'm from the city, I'm from an urban area, I'm from the hip hop culture. And in the hip hop culture, when I was growing up, we all loved wearing matching outfits. Like that was the thing that you wanted. And growing up poor, like we didn't have enough money to buy these cool outfits I saw all of these people wearing. And there was something about that like brand of clothing or that genre of clothing that really resonated with me. Like I always wanted my clothes to match. There's a funny story. My mother will tell you this funny story. When I was a young kid, very, very young, I was born in Chicago, raised in Boston. And I was like 3 or 4 years old, and my mother, she's got 3 kids at the time. My older brother was like 6 or 7, and I'm 3 or 4, and my younger brother was an infant. And my mother's trying to rush her 3 kids into the car because we got somewhere to be. And she put on a mismatching outfit. You know, at that age, you wear like every outfit comes with a top and bottom, and my mother put on a different top and a different bottom. And I didn't want it. I threw a fit. I started crying and trying to get my mother to get me back into my bedroom so I could change my clothes. And my mother wasn't having it. She was like, we got somewhere to be. So she's rushing her 3 kids into this car. And I come up with the brilliant idea that if I wet myself, she'll have to take me back into the house to go change. So that's exactly what I did. My mother will tell you that story and say, Elliot has always been this way. And that's true. It really resonated with my personality and the culture that I come from. Given that dressing this way has always been me, there was a time where I was not courageous enough to dress as myself and show up as my authentic self in professional spaces in my field. So instead of dressing like myself, I tried to put on the uniform of a therapist. The field was very, very white, not very urban, certainly not very hip hop, certainly not very black. And I thought if I dressed like them, I would be accepted by them. I thought if I dressed like them, it would prevent me from experiencing bigotry and racism and being excluded from the club. And I soon found out that it didn't matter how I dressed. It didn't matter what uniform I put on. It didn't matter. Those things were going to occur. And I tried for years to assimilate. I tried for years to be accepted. I tried for years to look like them, talk like them, act like them, walk like them. And it just kept happening. I kept experiencing racial experiences. I kept experiencing racial comments. I kept experiencing closed doors when other people were experiencing red carpets. Until I got to a place where I thought, if they're not gonna accept me, no matter how I act, no matter what I look like, then I might as well look like myself and act like myself. And that is when things took off for me. When I started showing up as myself and representing myself, even in my clothing, representing my culture, even in the way that I dressed, there were 2 massive things that took place. Number 1, I started to feel better about me. I started to recognize who I was when I looked in the mirror or when I looked at myself. Like I started to be myself. And I was nervous, right? I was scared. The reason I tried to assimilate, and I'm not proud of that. Like that's one of the most embarrassing things about my journey, is there was a period of time where instead of being my authentic self, I tried to assimilate. But when I got to a point where I like lost myself, and I think a lot of Black people go through this because of fear of not being accepted, because of so frequently we experience racism. And I've had so many people reach out to me saying that that's part of their journey too. But once I started showing up as me and representing me and my culture and where I'm from, things started to transform for me. I became proud of myself, and I recognize myself. And I didn't know what impact that was gonna have on my career or my work, but I knew that I needed to do this because it was gonna have an impact on me. And then the second thing that happened, to my surprise, is amazing opportunities started to come my way. People started hiring me to give more lectures. My books started doing better. I started traveling more. My online presence and platform on social media and things like that just took off. I got invited to sign a television deal, and I've been working in the entertainment industry for a really long time. I've become friends with many people within the hip hop culture. A long time ago, I first heard about a rapper named Mysonne the New York General is his name. And he was one of my favorite rappers. If you know me, you know like Mysonne is one of my favorite rappers. And fast forward, now Mysonne and I are friends. Like my life has steered in such a way that Mysonne and I are friends. We see each other occasionally in New York when I'm there. We see each other at events. Like, it's been a massive shift, all because I could walk in my own like authenticity, and I could show up and be myself. I mean, I had to go through that difficult period in order to get where I am now, but I wish I just realized earlier that authenticity is actually what people want to connect with. It doesn't matter whether your authentic self is of the hip hop culture wearing matching sweatsuits or wearing a tuxedo every day. Like, it doesn't really matter. But when you are you, people connect with that, and people want to help you, and people want to advocate for you. And when you're not being you, it's harder for people to do that. It's harder for people to resonate with you. But that's exactly what makes it so scary. If you show up as yourself and someone rejects you, that hurts. Like, they rejected like the real you. If you have like a shield on or a costume on and they reject you, subconsciously you kind of know that that was like the shield. But when you are really being you and someone rejects you, like, it hurts even more, because that was like the real you. That's where the fear and the hesitation comes from. But when someone accepts you and you're the real you, that creates a very deep connection. That creates a very deep bond. And it creates an amazing experience, which is this crazy journey that I'm on, where my message is resonating with so many people, and it's giving me amazing opportunities that I once couldn't have dreamt. So if I could give a suggestion to anyone out there, it would be to like be you. Lean into who you are, even the weird parts, even your flaws, even the parts of you that you've spent your whole life hiding. Those are the parts that will connect with people. Those are the parts that people want to experience. Those are the parts that will create bonds between you and other people. Lean in and be your true, real, authentic self, and it'll transform your life.